Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the project dossier for flashcards.io. It's a tool built around a really fascinating question. Can we make studying not just something we have to do, but something we actually want to do? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about the problem it's trying to solve. Then we'll look at the solution itself, flashcards.io, and peek under the hood at its tech. We'll even see it in action and wrap up with why a project like this is so important. Let's jump in. So first up, let's set the stage. What is the actual problem we're dealing with when it comes to studying today? I mean, this is the big one, right? We've all used study apps that are, functional, they work, but they feel like work. The real challenge is creating something engaging, something, sticky. An app you actually feel good about opening up.
Okay, so how does this project tackle that challenge? Let's get into the solution they've built, flashcards.io.
At its core, the idea is all about choice. It gets that sometimes you want to be the architect, carefully building your own study decks, and other times you just want to be the player and jump right into a game. It caters to both of those moods. And you can see that philosophy reflected right here in the design. It is just so clean and simple. The whole point is to make the tool itself almost invisible, so you can just focus on what matters, the learning. So these are kind of the four pillars holding the whole thing up. You can make your own stuff, you can play a game, you can see how you're doing with scores, and you can even get social with it. It's like a complete little ecosystem for studying. All right, so let's pop the hood for a minute and see how this thing was actually built. What's the engine that makes this user-friendly experience run so smoothly? Okay, this tech stack tells a really interesting story. For the front end, you've got React and Redux, which is a classic powerhouse for making things feel snappy and interactive. Flipping cards without the whole page having to reload. Then on the back end, Node.js is super efficient. But honestly, the real MVP here might be Firebase. Using it for the database means you get real-time data and easy user management, which is absolutely perfect for things like leaderboards and social features. It's just a really smart, modern setup. And the result of that smart tech is this. A totally seamless experience no matter where you are. Whether you're on your phone on the bus or on your laptop at your desk, it just works. It looks and feels exactly the way it should. No compromises. So all that is great in theory, but let's see what it's actually like to use it. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of the trivia game from a user's perspective. Getting started is incredibly fast. They boiled it down to this simple 3-step process. The whole idea is to reduce the friction and get you into the learning part as quickly as possible. So, step 1, you're in the driver's seat. You get to be the game master. You pick your category, here it's music, and then you decide how deep you want to go. Want a quick 10-question quiz, or are you up for a 50-question marathon? It's totally up to you. After you hit generate, you get this. And I think this is such a cool little touch. It doesn't just throw you into the first question. It actually lays out the cards for you, giving you this little preview of the challenge ahead. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. And now you're in the game. It feeds you questions one by one with super clear options. And you get that immediate feedback. Green check for right, red X for wrong. That instant feedback loop is so critical for making information actually stick in your brain. And this right here is where that flexibility really pays off. As soon as you finish one game, you can just go right back and start a completely new one. Maybe you warm up with a quick music quiz, then decide to really test yourself with a longer game on general knowledge. The tool molds to how you want to study, not the other way around. So we've looked at the parts, we've seen it in action. Let's zoom out. What's the big takeaway here? Why does a project like flashcards.io actually matter? When you put it all together, its greatest strength is this. It understands that a great experience isn't just a pretty interface. It's about using smart technology to solve a real human problem. In this case, the universal grind of studying. Yeah, this quote really gets to the heart of it. It's not about just passively consuming information. It's about creating a dynamic, personal journey where learning feels like an accomplishment, not a task. In the end, flashcards.io is so much more than a study app. It's really a perfect case study in how thoughtful, user-focused design can turn a chore into a genuine challenge. And it really makes you wonder, what's the next chore in our lives that's just waiting for a similar transformation?